Once upon a time in the late 18th century, in the city of Salzburg, Austria, there was born a child prodigy by the name of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. His father Leopold was a renowned composer and music teacher, who recognized his son's musical talents at a very young age. Leopold began to teach Mozart music when he was only 3 years old, and he was amazed by the speed at which his son learned. Mozart's talent was not limited to music alone. He had a photographic memory and was a gifted linguist, fluent in several languages. He was also an excellent mathematician and had a fascination with science. However, it was in music where Mozart truly shone. By the time he was 6 years old, he had already composed several pieces of music, including symphonies and operas. Leopold Mozart, recognizing his son's genius, decided to take him and his sister Nannerl on a tour of Europe, showcasing their musical abilities. The tour was a huge success, and Mozart became a sensation wherever he went. He was invited to perform for kings and queens, and his talent was admired by musicians and composers all over Europe. As Mozart grew older, he continued to compose music at an astonishing rate. He was a prolific composer, producing over 600 works in his short life. His music was groundbreaking, and he was a pioneer in the classical music genre. He composed operas, symphonies, sonatas, and chamber music that are still performed today. Mozart's personal life, however, was tumultuous. He had a difficult relationship with his father, who was overbearing and controlling. Mozart's marriage to Constanze Weber, a singer, was also troubled. They had 6 children, but only 2 survived infancy. Mozart struggled financially, and he often found himself in debt. He also suffered from health problems, including bouts of illness and depression. Despite these challenges, Mozart continued to create music of extraordinary beauty and complexity. One of his most famous works, the opera, The Marriage of Figaro, was premiered in 1786 to great acclaim. It is a comic opera that satirizes the class system and explores themes of love, jealousy, and forgiveness. In 1791, Mozart was commissioned to compose a requiem mass by a mysterious stranger who wished to remain anonymous. The work, which Mozart believed to be his own funeral mass, would prove to be his final composition. Mozart worked tirelessly on the requiem, but he was never able to finish it. He fell ill and died on December 5, 1791, at the age of only 35. Mozart's legacy is immense. His music has been performed and celebrated for over 2 centuries, and he is widely regarded as one of the greatest composers of all time. His influence can be heard in the works of many later composers, including Beethoven, Brahms, and Tchaikovsky. He revolutionized the classical music genre, and his contributions continue to be appreciated and celebrated by music lovers around the world. In conclusion, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart was a child prodigy who went on to become one of the most important composers in the history of classical music. His talent was recognized from a very young age, and he went on to produce a vast body of work that continues to be admired and celebrated today. Despite his personal struggles, Mozart was a true musical genius, and his legacy is one of beauty, creativity, and inspiration.